This adorable pink, silver, and white vintage obi is the candidate for this upcycling obi project. Featuring the large embroidered flower motif as a dressy handbag felt like a great idea. The pink and white yukata fabric for the inner lining, along with the silver hardware, makes this a special accessory piece. This style of obi is called FUKURO OBI, a formal obi often decorated with elaborate embroidery or woven brocade along much of its length. FUKURO OBI was created as a slightly lighter and more wearable alternative to maru obi, the heavier type of formal obi. The FUKURO OBI is traditionally worn with dressy and formal kimono for weddings, tea ceremonies, and other special occasions. The decorative patterns usually cover most of the front side of the obi, while the back is typically plain silk, which makes it easier to tie and less bulky to wear. I have this yukata that I took apart a while ago, and this does have like a nice cute pink to it, so I could use this for the inner lining and then make a couple pockets for the bag. If you're curious about how I find these beautiful obi and kimono, feel free to check out the video where I go over my simple method of purchasing these online. Link is in the description below. Obi come in slightly different sizes. Width is usually about the same. This one's a little bit bigger than the other purse that I made, but this part of the obi sometimes is longer, sometimes a little shorter. I'm not gonna measure like precisely or anything, but I am gonna give myself a tiny bit of extra space here so that I can tuck this and sew it. So I'm gonna give myself maybe 3/4 of an inch or something. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, so this has Obishin in it to make it more sturdy. I'm gonna keep that in there. So I'll cut the Obishin right at that line, and then I'll tuck the fabric over, and then I'll sew. Fold this over like that. And then maybe I'll use scissors for that section. It's not precise. Just so that it's not so thick when I wrap the other front and back over. Fold that over, and then maybe I cut a little too much, and I can fold that over like this and do the same to the other side. Oh, that's gonna be so cute. I have this hardware, and I think that would be really nice to put up here and just make it a handbag. So I cut a small piece off, and I will fold it up like this, and on this side too, and make two pieces out of this, and then I'll do loop like that. For the fabric that will hold the handle hardware, I cut a small section from the embroidered portion of the obi and divided into 2 pieces. I ripped the seams along the edges of the obi so I could separate the front and back panels. Then ironed the edges on both sides. I did the same thing with the back panel of the obi as well and trimmed away the extra fabric. I sewed both edges of the fabric pieces for the handles, then zigzagged the remaining edges to secure the loose embroidery threads. Most of the handle fabric pieces will be hidden behind the inner lining, but finishing them this way also makes the bag easier to handle while making it. Now let's take a break and see what's going on at a local holiday festival on this bitter cold winter evening. It's time to work on the inner lining using the Yukata fabric. I'm cutting the fabric to fit into the opening of the main obi bag, making sure to leave enough seam allowance. I cut a smaller piece for the pockets as well. After sewing the pockets, it's time to add the silver snaps to the top opening. Then I pinned the edges of both the main obi and the inner lining pieces before moving on to the final step of sewing around the opening. As you can see, with multiple layers of obi fabric and the yukata inner lining, I had to sew very slowly, especially around the handles. But this vintage sewing machine came through for me once again. This is the final look of the pink, silver, and white vintage obi handbag with the flower motif. I had fun making this one, and it turned out really nicely. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a very nice holiday season wherever you are in the world. See you in the next video.